All right, so this is going to be an explanation on how layers in Illustrator work. So I have here a picture of a dog, very normal looking dog, with a terrifying smile, as you can see. So this dog here is built in a bunch of layers. And I didn't do the mouth right because I'm very bad at drawing mouths of dogs, so he has a creepy smile. So when we draw things in Illustrator, you have to use layers. Now, you don't always need to use these, but they're very useful for more complex drawings. So I'm going to show you kind of an example of layers in Illustrator. So layers are quite literally like a layer if you think of anything else. So if I think of pieces of paper, right? If I stack 3 pieces of paper on top of each other, there's going to be a piece of paper on the bottom, a piece of paper in the middle, and a piece of paper on the top. You can see the same situation here in my layers panel over here. So I will say that your layers panel in Illustrator sometimes may be here. I like to drag it, I like to click it and drag it into here. And let me just pull it to the bottom. I like to put it there because I can always see the layers, because that's how much we usually use the layers tool. So take a look at this up here. So there's a couple things that happen in the layers panel. One, I can see which layers I've made. So you can see I have 4 layers here, and you create them yourself. So your layer panel would be different than mine depending on what you're doing. So I have sketch, color, outline, and details. Okay, so let's take a look. There's this little eye tool that toggles the visibility of the layers. So let's look at the details layer. If I click the eye, it's going to turn off all the details. Okay. If I do the outline, which is this black line, I click, it'll turn off all those. Color would be the color of the dog. And then you can see there's a sketch underneath that I traced. I can turn that off. I'm left with nothing. If I turn the color back on only, oh look, I only have the color. If I turn the outline on, I only have the outline. If I have the details, I only have the details. That's even more terrifying than the dog with everything on. So that's how you do that. Notice I can like click and drag stuff. If I hit the little area next to the eye, that locks the layer. That means I can't click and drag that anymore. Okay, I'll end up clicking the layer under it. But that's useful if you're drawing on top of something and you don't want to be able to click and drag, right? Right now, I can't really click and drag anything. I can't click and drag the color. I can drag the outline still because those are not locked, right? If I lock this up completely, I can't drag or draw on anything, just so you know, okay? So you can toggle that too. So let's look at what happens when I move layers up and down. So take a look at this color layer. This is the color of the dog. If I were to drag this down below the sketch layer, what happens? Well, the color goes away because I have a picture on the sketch layer, and I just put the color layer below it. So I'm going to bring that up, and notice the color's back now. Same thing, if I drag the details below the color level, now I don't have any details left because it's below the color. Okay? So sometimes layers, the order doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters greatly. Okay? So let's say I wanted to add a new layer. The way you do this is just with this little plus sign. And notice it just puts it in there. So that's just named layer 5, right? So let's say I want to draw, I don't know, some spots on my dog. Now, I might have put that in the details, but let's say I'm separating it for some reason. So let's double click to rename it, and I can just name spots, hit enter. So, and you can do this before or after. So if I'm in the spots layer, I need to think, well, where should this be? So I know for a fact that it shouldn't be below the color because that'll just block all the spots. So I'm going to move it up for sure. Now, in order to draw in a layer, you have to click on the layer. That means you're in it. Then I can start to draw. So let's say I just want to put little spots on my dog. Okay, so let's say like that. I'm going to give it a color. There we go. I'm going to get rid of the stroke there. There we go. So let's say I'm putting some spots on my dog. Kind of look like beans or something. Okay, these are not going to be perfect because that's not the point of this tutorial. So I put some spots on my dog there, okay? So let's hide the spots layer and look at that. I just put all that on, okay? Now, just remember, whatever you click on and draw in will be the layer these are in. So if I click on outline and draw like a circle, right? And then I go to hide the outline, the circle is drawn in the layer that has this here, the outline. So when I click hide, it hides it all. Okay, so just know that you have to click where you want to draw in what layer first and then draw. Okay. Layers can all just be deleted at once, which makes them useful. So if I click on a layer and I click on the trash can, it'll ask me, do I want to delete it? I hit yes, I can delete it. The only thing is sometimes it's hard to get back. You can control Z that to get it back like the first time, but if you go too far and you delete a layer, you will not be able to get it back. So you got to be careful. So layers are good because you can hide them all at once, or you can delete them all at once, or show them all at once, but they're also good to bring things forward and backwards in a drawing. You use them a lot. So I, again, would take your layers panel and drag it to the bottom and put it here because it's that useful.